be happening by accident. Somebody thief in this whole nation. Somebody gone with the good out of my land. Somebody thief in this whole nation. We need to make some much more supplication. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in this whole nation. Everything wrong in this land today looks alright. Defended by those who we know should know better. Raping women in the land is a disaster, yet the punishment recommended drive them to anger. What in the world are we really coming to? Where do we go from here? What are we going to do? The laws in the place is nothing but a waste, cannot be implemented. What a judicial disgrace. Somebody thief in this whole nation. Somebody gone with the morals of this land. Somebody thief in this whole nation. Somebody causing much too much frustration. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in this whole nation. 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 Somebody thief in this whole nation.
Trinidad Rio. Merry New Year, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is straight, die-hard, genuine, authentic Kaiso. And this is how the story goes. I went to public utilities and tell them disconnect them facilities, cause me want them. I tried to contact the ombudsman, but never in office. Are going to file me an injunction on the public service. Cause every time a heavy rain fall, by me don't have no current at all. They spoil my TV, they spoil my fridge, they nearly kill me with low voltage. Now before they make me a lunatic, I'm going back to basic. I'm going and get a flambeau and lamp with wick. I'm going back to basic. I call my fans and I call my friends to let them know that if they have a message to send, tell Tempo. And if they come home and then you see me, tell me neighbor, or get a pen and a writing pad and write a letter. Cause PSTT does make me weep. Gone are the days when old talk was cheap. I make a phone call to Talparo and I get a phone bill to Mexico. Oh my lad, before they kill me and kill me quick, I'm going back to basic. A piece of malling and two climpan wouldn't do the trick. I'm going back to basic. I went and buy me a motor car for my own comfort, because I can't take no more torture waiting on transport. But all them potholes and all them bumps, me car ain't able until they invent a car to jump. Well, I go travel. I beg the Lord to please put a hand, touch the hearts of this spare parts man. I used to have a raise in the bank. Now every cent gone in me gas tank. Now I prefer roller with piece of sticker. I'm going back to basic. Or buy a 3-speed bike, go in tick. I'm going back to basic. Now the only competent source that really working is when you can't pay your bills on time. They come cutting. Incompetence and disregard, ain't no humor, cause the situation is sad for the poor consumer. The word wasa does give me gripe. I ask for water, they can give me pipe. I can't even get me clothes to wash. Me toilet full and can't even flush. Now they make me condemn me toilet bowl.
I'm going back to basic.
And now I dig in a latrine hole.
I'm going back to basic.
Trinidad Rio.
Yesterday I went to the store to buy a cooler, then get me Indian partner next door to make a chula. I buy a donkey cart from Ramdeen to make a stagecoach, then put some Severin in my latrine to kill the cockroach. I buy a posy made in Hong Kong, the only silver posy in town. Well, if you see the latrine I build, y'all is the cleanest one on the hill. All down inside the hole and around the walls. I always splitting. You know why? To make sure cockroach ain't bite me.
Trinidad Rio. Back to basic.
before one of them get me sick.
And of such great expectation. Over the years I watched his deterioration. Just couldn't stand by idly and say it's a shame. Someone or something in this land has to be blamed. Politics for one and politicians for the other. Make sure the good of this land don't stay together. How could some place so good turn out so bad? Where is the love in this land that we once had? Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody driving this country mad. And we, yes you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you we, yes you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Drug addiction and prostitution, teenage pregnancy have taken over my land. Much too much political corruption. Talk about race only cause more confusion. Who would ever try to put all these wrongs right? Too much frustration without no end in sight. Leader after leader put the nation under pressure, and ordinary people just have to run for cover, Lord. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody driving my country mad. And we, yes you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you we, yes
night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Can I ask you all to stand as we play national anthem, please? Very much. I'd like to call now. We have two prayer, Christian and the Hindu prayer. So I'll have the Christian representative to be followed by the Hindu pundit, please.
A pleasant good evening. Heaven and eternal God, we give you praise and thanks for every parliamentarian, every member, and we thank you, Lord, for the UNC office opening our community, that we can be better connected with our UNC family. We pray for our opposition leader that will continue to bless and keep her in good health and bless her with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that she will continue to be a force to reckon with. We pray for Trinidad and Tobago, that you will have, that the UNC will have an impact to better govern the people of this nation. Heavenly Eternal Father, we ask for these blessings and other more in no other name but the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and may the people say, Amen.
Just one quick announcement with the driver of PDS 2244. Attend to your vehicle immediately, please, start.
I ask everyone to bow their heads and close their eyes. That Bhagwan, we come to you in prayer. We bow to you as Param Brahm, the Supreme Being. O Bhagwan Ganesh, may you be our guiding light. As this new opportunity opens, Bhagwan, shower your choicest blessings unto everyone in this office, and may you be the guiding light to make justice, peace, and happiness come into our country. Bhagwan, we bow to you. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sri Saraswatya Namaha. Om Sri Guru Charana Kamale Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Param Dhamma Parabrahma Padisham Paramadbhutam Vigana Niganakaram Shantam Pushtan Kantanamandakam Surasurendai Siddhendai Sugan Saumit Parat Param Suraparamadinesham Cha Ganeshaya Amangalam. Our victory. Bolo Sri Gajanan Swami ki Jai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much.
You may have your seats. Thank you very much, Pandit. I would want to apologize. We were supposed to have a Muslim representative, but because of the time we had carded to start, that usually is time for mosques, so we were able to get one of them. But rest assured that we are all inclusive. Good night, Palo Seco. You hear anything? Good night, Palo Seco. Let me welcome you to our most historic event in this community. And we are very happy to have you all here with us tonight. I assure you, you will be well entertained and well educated when we are finished with you tonight. So tonight I want to introduce to you our chairperson for the afternoon, a gentleman who we hardly see, but has been in the background of his party for 1,000 years or more. And he has decided tonight, because it's La Brea, he's going to come to the forefront and show his face. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. William Archie.
Right, pleasant good night to all in La Brea, the members of parliament, and all here. I know it's a big surprise to see. Normally I'm behind the cameras and normally recording. Well, we're still streaming live. That's how the technology is these days. I just have a button here I could press and switch cameras and things. Nice, welcome to La Brea, the fourth attempt to launch the office. A song like Michaela, who tried to launch her party 4 times. But we know what we were doing, right? You see, we had planned a very soft launch really to get business going here in La Brea. But when we advertised and we was about to launch, our political leaders say she has to go to Parliament on that day, and she would really like to come, right? And those type of circumstances had us postponing it a couple times, but with on, right? And last time, in that time, the chairman of the meeting supposed to be the Douglas, right? But I remember the Douglas saying he had to go Tobago Carnival, and like yesterday on Douglas Politics, I hear him talking for about a half hour about beauty pageant and crawl my blood when he say he find Donna Cox was looking good. Yes, so on to the launch of the La Brea office. I guess Victor will tell you the real reason for putting on this office here in La Brea. Now we have a good lineup of speakers, but you know it had a little flood. I wonder if any of you had to pass through that flood. But our couple speakers who supposed to be starting off, and you know something, when I saw 6:30, I was telling Victor, the sound people, I don't know where that feedback coming from. Yeah. Boy, I get like Douglas here, boy. I was in my stride, and when I started to hear that noise, I lost my stride and I forget where I reach. Yeah, you only saying so, you know, if our phone ring, anything, if our anything drop. Yes. Our first speaker is supposed to be the, oh, right, I catch up what I was going to say. At 6:30, this supposed to start at 6:30, and I was telling Victor, I say, you know something, we're going to start this thing 6:30. I remember once, like, well, you get it. I remember once in Natex, we had a meeting, a Natex meeting, and whatever time it was supposed to start, whether it was 6:30 or 7:30 or something, the chairman was Mr. Warner, and he left Zurich to reach on time for the meeting, and all of us who reach late, boy, is real buff, right? Since then, I say, boy, you know, I will never reach late to any meeting, and in any case, 6:30 is 6:30. Right. Our first speaker was supposed to be the PRO, but I understand. I call him, man. I wonder if I call something else, it go happen, boy. Right. Yes. Now, the person opening the baton here is Dr. Kirk Megu. Now, you know, very often, you know, we will say the party, you know, you're lucky to be in the party and you get a big position and thing. But I am telling you, Dr. Megu, I feel the party is very pleased to have a man of your substantive quality to act as the PRO. I recognize by working with you, this man really understands how to run a party, and with the new executives coming into place, hopefully he will get some PROs that he could work with, but he have a lot of programs, a lot of things put in place, right? So we are very pleased in the United National Congress to have a man like Dr. Kirk Megu as our PRO. Dr. Megu, come on down.
Thank you, Mr. Archie. That was not a paid introduction. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here with you all at the opening of this office down here. Honorable leader, who I know is on her way, I want to give her a special greetings as well. The next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And we know you all have an important role to play in that, in bringing that home, right? Of course, all our distinguished guests here. I have a limited amount of time, so please forgive me for skipping a lot of those formalities. So what I want to say here is that the point of my address is that this area, La Brea, St. Patrick, is not a natural PNM area. This is not PNM country, and Victor Roberts is going to prove that by turning here yellow. Now, I am a historian and a political scientist, so I am going to bring this to you in terms of historical facts, right? As Victor Roberts says, facts, not fiction. So here are the facts. You know, the first time that the PNM contested was in 1956. And they did not get a majority. In fact, the worst place they did in Trinidad and Tobago. Do you know where the worst place they did? Where they did the worst? It was not Chaguanas. They did actually well in Chaguanas. It was not Caroni. It was not Naparima. It was St. Patrick. In St. Patrick, they only got 13% of the vote. That's almost 90% of the people in this area did not vote for the PNM. You know who were the people who won? You had Butler. So the Butler party was around and he won his seat. You had A.C. Alexis. Right? He won in St. Patrick Central. You had Ajoda Singh. He won in St. Patrick East. So it was these three people that won. Now, you have to understand Trinidad and Tobago politics in a more accurate way. We have to understand that in this country. People have this very simplistic and wrong idea that there's a racial politics between Africans and Indians. How many of you here remember Lloyd Best, one of the greatest minds in this country? He developed an amazing theory about Trinidad politics, that there are really 9 groups in Trinidad and Tobago. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand how the dynamics of this society is and how the politics works out. Right? So what you call the Afro-Trinidadians are really 3 different groups. The Afro-Saxons, who are the kind of elite in Port of Spain, the Garveyites, and you have the Butlerites, which is down here, or sometimes we call them the Grenadians in St. Patrick. And those 3 interests are always fighting against each other. Then on the Indian side, what you call the Indo-Trinidadians is not that either. That is, you have the Hindus, you have the Muslims, you have the Presbyterians. And you know, the Muslims and the Presbyterians have a lot in common with the Afro-Saxons, and so there's a lot of tension there. Then you have, of course, the French Creole group, which is all the light-skinned groups. And then you have the Tibetonians, who are different from the Afro-Trinidadians, and they have very much in common. Let us pause. The leader is here. Let us stand and welcome the leader.
Testing one.
Good night, everyone. My name is Nora Roth. On behalf of the... Try again.
My name is?
My name is Zephna Roberts. On behalf of the La Brea Constituency, I want to thank you for being here today. And this is a appreciation.
Thank you very much. Huh? Can I kiss you or will you just bounce? Bounce. Thank you. Give young Roberts a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Greetings. Greetings to the political leader. Right, so as I was talking about how this is not a natural PNM area, right? So there's 9 tribes in Trinidad and Tobago. There's the Afro-Saxons, the Garveyites, the Butlerites, there's the Hindus, the Muslims, the Presbyterians, there's the French Creoles, there's the Tibetonians, and then there's the Nowarians, right? People who come from mixed marriages, people educated abroad or whatnot, who can't fit into any of the tribes neatly. And politics is really a recombination of all these groups going back and forth. So Eric Williams in 1956 had to figure out a way how to bring La Brea and Point Fortin into his coalition. And now I don't know how many of you remember Butler or A.C. Alexis or Joda Singh from the area, but what he did was he married his sister to A.C. Alexis. How many of you are aware of that? I know Victor, yeah, that's right. So and that's how A.C. Alexis was brought into the PNM, right? And then the other groups, they started to make their coalition, and that's how it was. Then later on, when the NAR came about, they were picking off groups one by one from that coalition. George Weeks and Bastio Pandey were very close in the ULF, in the radical trade union movement, which then became part of the NER to get rid of the PNM. Right? So they were picking here off because this was not a natural UNC territory. Now, I won't go into the whole history there, but that is the point, that this is not PNM country, and Victor Roberts is going to turn this place yellow again. So, with that, I want to thank you very much. I want to wish you all the best and congratulate you on this fine opening of your La Brea constituency office for the UNC.
Right. Thank you very much there, Dr. Kirk Megu. Right? Leader Shoya must be surprised to see me in front of the camera instead of behind the camera. Yes, when we were setting up here a little earlier today, a lady came in and she said she have a complaint. Right? So I thought, well, trouble in La Brea here. You know what was her complaint? She said, oh, you're putting up UNC flag all over and all you're putting on my house. So things happening in La Brea. And we want to hear from a La Brea person about what they think about this UNC office coming to La Brea. So the next speaker is someone by the name of Stella. Stella? Oh, Roberts, that's he. Chris. Right.
Good night, everyone. Parliamentary representative, your team, OCLAC team, all the different things, good night. I am proud to stand up to say that Mr. Victor is a hard-working man. He will work with the people. We have to work with him. And I'm so glad that this office is opening today. And I would like the people of La Brea Constituency to work together with him and us to make this place a better place. And I know the next future, this will be my Prime Minister. She's always my Prime Minister. Mr. Victor Robert could tell that. I have no other Prime Minister than Pamela Victor. Because when my son was going to school, he's 20 years, he get a computer. No other minister or government give him. And I want God to bless her and her family and her team and all our UNC brothers and sisters. And let us work together, not for race, for religion, but for the country and for the children of the country. It have nothing to do with race. Everybody is one. All of us is one. You cut my blood, is one. And I know this opening of this will be tonight, will be for the people of our district. You have a problem, come to Mr. Victor Richard, he'll help you out. And God bring all this safe, bring us safe, and I want God to take us back safe to our respective home and to our family. God bless you, Parliament, and next Prime Minister, Ms. Cesar.
Thank you very much. UNC here in La Brea. You all would remember the 1,000 dias that went from the junction down there all the way up the road. And same thing, people want us to bring the dias and put it by them. Anyhow, the next speaker is a doctor. And if I say Dr. Parasram, this man will get real vexed and start a quarrel and thing. They give that man an honorary doctorate and thing. I know I'm supposed to keep this thing tight, but I had a little politics in this thing. They had this thing called Ebola virus that was coming to Trinidad, and the boss was the Prime Minister at the time. And I remember them take front before front, and I seen all kind of suit and hazmat suit, and they make place ready, and they're doing drills and all this kind of thing, getting ready for the Ebola. But when our next speaker, a real doctor, went to Parliament to say, they have this thing named COVID coming. They say that's not important and all this kind of thing, right? So our next speaker, who is a real doctor, and that man we get honorary doctorate. And what kind of doctor he is? Some kind of, we'll say a mosquito doctor. Yeah. Now, if this doctor was in the Minister of Health, at least 3,000-4,000 people would not have died, right? And I just hear stories about Dr. Bodo. Dr. Bodo delivering over 15,000 babies, right? So I feel with a feat like that, you know, he had to get more than a honorary doctorate. He had to get some kind of interplanetary award or something. Over 15,000 babies. He must deliver a whole constituency. So the next speaker is the honorable, the neighbor, and a very strategic person for us here in La Brea. Saying us, for Mr. Victor Roberts in La Brea. Let's bring to the podium Dr. Bodo.
Thank you very much, our brother William Archie. A very good night to Paliseco and by extension the constituency of La Brea. Very, very happy and pleased to be amongst you here tonight. I didn't get that real Paliseco welcome for the political leader of the United National Congress and the leader of the opposition, Member of Parliament for Siparia, Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I know whenever she arrives you get confused. So let me hear that special welcome for our political leader. And the next and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to say a special welcome to my parliamentary colleagues from both houses who are here, and of course members of the NATEX. And of course we have some representatives from the local government, the Sipa Regional Corporation, and I also see one of our councillors from San Fernando. And of course the Faizabad constituency is represented here in the La Brea executive, my brothers and sisters. So I am very pleased, I take great pleasure, and I feel honored to be part of this very historic event, to usher in the presence of the United National Congress in a very formal way in the form of opening this office. And of course, I have to hail out Victor Roberts. Victor Roberts, as you know, has been a very hard worker, solely of the party in this constituency, but also throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Wherever you look, you see a Roberts. If it's not Anil Roberts, you see Victor Roberts. So again, I want to say a very special thank you. Now, why are we here and why is this important? This, of course, is a very strategic intervention by the United National Congress. And I want to commend here tonight the initiative and the vision of our political leader in recognizing that the UNC really needs to have a formal presence in terms of a fixed place and an office in the constituency of La Brea. Our brother Kirk Megu pointed out the historic significance and the importance and the strategy that could take this constituency back into the folds of the United National Congress. And Victor has been doing a wonderful job in trying to rally that support. But you know, my brothers and sisters, tonight, you know, as we would have all come here, we would have come through the floods, you've come through the potholes, and we really have to ask ourselves, where are we in Trinidad and Tobago as we speak here tonight, my brothers and sisters? And we're in a terrible place. It's a place, you know, that we need to move on from very quickly, and we will need the support of all to be able to take us back into government, because that is where we are. I wouldn't keep you long tonight, but I just want to point out to you the significance, and I'll just use one example of the delivery that you got under the People's Partnership led by the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, and I'll just refer to the health sector. And many of you may not be aware of this, and I'll go quickly. You know, in 2010, you had the Siparia District Health Facility. It's just up the road. Many of the constituents of La Brea and many of the residents of Paliseco and Santa Flora and neighboring areas will head in that direction. You head in a different direction, we'll talk about that in a minute, but you go to the Siparia District Health Facility. That facility was opened in 2010 under a different government, but do you know it was Kamla Prasad Bisesa who ensured that that facility became a 24/7 facility. Yeah? And that happened under her leadership. Do you know that the caring and our leader, then Prime Minister, you know, cared deeply about people? I'll tell you why. Another thing that happened in the health sector, and I'm very familiar with this because as the chairman of the SWRH at that time, I was asked to execute some of these directives, orders sometimes, right, then Prime Minister. And in the area of Cedrus, for example, it's a very remote area, and many times there will be medical emergencies, and it would take a long time for those patients to be transferred to the Point Fortin Hospital. And we were asked to ensure that we opened and made available staff for the Cedrus Health Center on a 24-hour basis, and that there was an ambulance station there. Our thinking, and the Prime Minister's thinking at the time, was that if we could save the life of one person by making it more convenient for healthcare, that was important. So that was at Cedrus, we had that facility open. And right here in Palo Seco, you have a brand new health center in Palo Seco. You know about that? Many of you may not know. Some you know. I'll tell you, it was built under Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the People's Partnership government. Built and opened in August of 2015. Brand new health center in Palo Seco. And of course, we spoke about going up that direction to Siparia. But what about when you go in this direction to Point Fortin? Well, of course, now you have the Point Fortin Hospital. And of course, the plans and the SUD for that was turned under the partnership government. And that is a facility that has been utilized and enjoyed by the residents from Palo Seco, from La Brea, and of course, Point Fortin. And again, many of you may not know, but you may recognize the refurbished health center in Point Fortin. You might remember, as a resident of Point Fortin, prior to 2015, that was an old rundown building. And again, under the direction of Kamla Prasad Bisesa, then Prime Minister, that was completely refurbished. And now we have a great facility there. So my brothers and sisters, that's just an example of what healthcare was like under the partnership. Only one sector. We can't talk about the delivery in the other sectors tonight. There's just too much. Take a whole week, maybe a month to talk about that. So that was delivery in the healthcare sector under the PP. What are you getting? And as I close, we have to ask ourselves, what are we getting for healthcare under the PNM government over the last 7 years? But I'll tell you, last week a video became viral, on the social media, showing a patient on a wheelchair being wheeled by an attendant through floodwaters in the San Fernando General Hospital. And if that wasn't bad enough, on the attendant's back was a nurse. So my brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, when you see that, when you see this government literally taking us for a ride in the health sector, you know where we have reached. But I'll close on one last point, and I want to make this point. I think it's important. At the Monday night forum, our leader raised the issue of some $50 million plus being spent on a residence in Tobago to build a house, $50 plus million. And I am saying to you tonight that since 2015, we have been asking for a cath lab to be built in the San Fernando General Hospital to benefit our patients. I will not go into details tonight, but all of us here will benefit from that in terms of when you get chest pain, you get a heart attack and so on. And I'm saying to you, this is just one example of how the priorities of this PNM government is wrong side. In other words, they spent $50 million on building a house for the Prime Minister in Tobago, when that same $50 million they could not find during the period 2015 right up to 2022 to build that facility that will benefit so many more patients. So I close here tonight. My brothers and sisters, I again want to commend the vision, the leadership, the strong leadership of our political leader. This party has been moving from strength to strength. As you know, we are on the we are in the PNM space almost every single day of the week, and of course we are building from strength to strength. And the time has reached, with your support, for us to take out this government and to bring back our visionary leader, our strong leader, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, as the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, a little snippet of intelligence. You see, the country don't have to be like this, it don't have to be like this, right? It have competent people inside there. Right, we down in La Brea, and to show you we mean some La Brea business. about 6 weeks ago, we had the election of executives. And I know next week we'll be ratifying the constituency executives. But I would like to take this opportunity as we in La Brea, before the La Brea people, to just to present to you the La Brea executive. So would the members of the La Brea executive just make it up onto the stage. And while they're making it up onto the stage, we always have the complaint that the constituency executives may not be doing what they're supposed to do. So what I painstakingly did was to prepare documents for each member of the executive, right? Inside of these folders have the constitution, and it have guidelines, detailed guidelines of what is entailed with their responsibility, right? Now, I'm not going to go through much of this thing. Inside of this, I will just present it to the incoming, or should I give it to the current chairman? I will just present it to the incoming chairman, Mr. Victor Roberts, right? Now, I'm really trying to rush the program. What I was going to do was to do a provisional installation, just as a sort of symbolic thing. I know next week we will be ratifying the decision for the results of the executive, and we would have a Congress, I believe, very soon or something to officially swear you in. But La Brea means business, and we need to get the executive working, and with the opening of this office, we'll be having a meeting next week, and not only would you find details of what your duties are inside of that envelope, you are also getting some deliverables for projects and events that we need. Now, we had really had a program assuming that elections would have been sometime soon to March. But anyhow, it could probably still happen, not so? Yes. So this is our executive, right? I would just ask like one or two of the members of the executive to just say something quick. Derek.
Good night, Palo Seco. Right. Let me say a pleasant good night to our political leader and our senior members here, senators, MPs. Welcome to La Brea. So, as Archie had mentioned, I am the, well, he didn't actually, okay, I'm the public relations officer for the constituency. My name is Derek Boren. I'm also the councillor for Mondesi. When I was, I had to say given, take, or forced, when I was asked to fill this position, I was hesitant, not because I didn't want to serve you all in La Brea, but I told Victor, I said, let me try to get the people in La Brea involved in La Brea. But I know you wanted some experience to help along the way, so I was more than happy to accept the role. I'll tell you this, and I think I will speak for every member of the executive here. We are going to do what we have to do, what we are supposed to do. The intention of this team is to take La Brea out of the misery it's in right now. We will do the job that is required against this gentleman they call Victor Roberts, who has been feeding the people of La Brea for years out of his pocket to actually get the government purse to feed earlier. Now, I worked in the La Brea election, in the 2020 election. I left Dr. Bodo by himself and I come La Brea. And I truly enjoyed it. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. But I was disappointed because of the fact that I think that the people of La Brea need a little buffing up. I don't like this suffering. I saw people living on dirt with 4 pieces of galvanized around them. I saw that. La Brea, I saw that. And yet still, we went that road. Anyway, because I'll talk later. You will hear me twice? All right, so good night, everyone. Again, we pledge our commitment to the constituency. When we officially open here, we'll be here functioning as a proper executive, proper business. We look forward to your support. Thank you.
Good night all. My name is Shana Roberts and I'm the party organizer for the La Brea Constituency Executive. Tonight, I am here to appeal to the youth of La Brea. Young people in this country must have a voice. Many of us continue to be ridiculed and criticized by others who blatantly refuse to see that those in charge are denying us the opportunities to realize our ambitions. I know of university graduates who work for less than minimum wage. Today, there are increased killings of young people committing crimes. And when you read their stories, you see that they went to college. This may only be the beginning. This may only be the beginning because quite recently, the Minister of National Security has boasted that he has beefed up the staff at the Forensic Science Center, and this can only mean one thing. This government knows well the direction they are charting for Trinidad and Tobago. Young girls will turn to anywhere for assistance, making them vulnerable to the wolves in society. Where are we headed? This country is crying out loud for change. We have to change the direction of our country. And to do so, we must change our policymakers. We are the future, but this government is taking us backwards to yesterday years. Nowhere in the world is this happening. We must join together and strengthen the UNC to remove the incumbent and stop the decay. Supporting any other party only means the government in office. It is openly clear that young people do not have a voice in this country. Time to change that. My name is Shana Roberts, and I challenge you to join me, step forward, and make a future for our generation.
All right, thank you very much, La Brea Executive. You mean business, so that's it. We're moving on to the next speaker. Yeah. Right. Our next, yeah, you could. All right, yeah, or you could wave flag and thing in the back. All right. Bringing greetings from the Senate is our deputy political leader, the lady who is the engine room for all the business, all the activities you see taking part in the party, all the way from Port of Spain. Deputy political leader, Senator, the Honorable Jerlene John.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Archie. Thank you very much. I'm not all the way from Port of Spain. I'm not from St. Anne's. I live in St. Anne's. I've lived there for many years. I'm from Charlottesville, Tobago. That's where the accent is from. It's not Jamaican. It's Tobagonian. And because I'm from Charlottesville, I understand people who are from rural communities. We are marginalized. We are treated like less than. Am I correct? You understand? But whether you're from Charlottesville or you're from La Brea or you're from Laventille, you're facing the same hell under the People's National Movement. There's no discrimination. It's equal opportunity hell. I tell people that all the time. They don't discriminate when it comes to dishing it out. So whether it is children, you would have read the newspaper, the widely published newspaper report of little children from a place called, I think, Rose Hill in Laventille, hiding under their desks because of gunshots. And people are pretending they didn't know that the children were facing gunshots almost every day, because it's not only in their school, it is their existence where they live. They see their mothers, their father, their uncle, everybody gone down, just like that, and they have to keep on moving. To this day, the Prime Minister has not seen fit to go to Rose Hill. The Minister of Education has not seen fit to go to Rose Hill. I can tell you tonight, if that had happened under the watch of Kamala Prasad Bisesa, she would have run to Rose Hill. She would have run to Rose Hill. Because for her, there is no discrimination. We are all equal under Kamala's watch. When that little 9-year-old boy was shot in the field, and the Minister of National Security found himself in Central and said the little boy was in the wrong place at the wrong time, we know he has it wrong. It's the PNM who is at the wrong place at the wrong time. And La Brea, we are here tonight because you can make the difference. It is time we tell PNM you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. Their time is long gone. Today I met with a very, very senior and important business civic leader in Port Spain. And he came to ask, he said, listen, I love your leader. I admire him. I want to be a part of your party. But I want to make sure that she's even-handed. And she will take my concerns for the people I represent in the same way she takes the concern of her base. And I asked him, who is her base? Her base is every single one of us. The Kamla Prasad business that I know, her base is everybody. I heard earlier the opening speaker, Christine. She spoke about us not being divided by race. Now, Mr. Pandey used to say, when you see an Indian fella with a black woman, or a black woman and an Indian fella, it's not about race, it's about taste. But that is Mr. Pandey. My take on that is, when you go into your fridge this evening when you go home, and you're hungry, when you open the fridge, are you looking for race? You're looking for something to eat. When you go to the supermarket, are you looking for race? Is money there? Are you paying in race? You want money. And I'm saying the person who has opened up the opportunities in this country, from east to west, north to south, even-handedly, is Kamla Prasad business. And I told the gentleman today, I'm from Charleville. We are very serious people. I don't follow nonsense. I don't study nonsense. I study people who make sense. And for me, coming down here to support Victor Roberts, who should come off the phone, is a no-brainer. And in support of my leader, we are here to plant a flag in La Brea. And I know it will not be a wasted effort, because you have to tell, what's his name, Keith Christopher Rowley and his bunch of corrupt crooks who don't care about nobody, that they are in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's time they get out. I thank you very much.
All right, hold it there, Mr. Bego. Right, we have a bouquet of flowers here. I hope it has no balize in that. Right, you can go ahead now.
Ms. Jolene John, on behalf of the La Brea Constituency Executive, we would like to present this to you.
Okay, moving quickly along. The next speaker. I say quickly, because I know when we introduce Senator Lyda, it's go on and on and on, but we're moving quick and tight. So, from the Senate, all the way from Diego Martin, Senator Lyda.
Good evening, La Brea. Let me hear you. Talk now. To our honorable political leader, and the way in which the PNM is collapsing today, the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. To all of my colleagues, members of Parliament, Senate, to the newly initiated executive, and to the next chairman, and not just the next chairman, but the next member of Parliament for La Brea, Mr. Victor Roberts. My job is very simple. I heard my deputy political leader speak at length of our political leader, but I am here to talk a little bit about the next member of Parliament of La Brea here today. Mr. Victor Roberts, what a person. What a genuine man and a character he is. So those who didn't know Victor Roberts, you would have seen him on Facebook. You would have seen him on his social media, championing the cause of not only the suffering people of La Brea, but the people who have suffered under this PNM government throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. But I had the honor to meet Victor Roberts 2 years ago when he and I sat down in my office. It's the first time I met him in person. He gave me a quick history of his time in politics. But more importantly, he spoke to me about the condition and the suffering of the people in La Brea. The people in La Brea who put their fingers and stained their fingers for this wicked PNM government. And who this wicked PNM government has now ultimately betrayed the people of La Brea. I heard somebody speak earlier about the fact that Victor Roberts was helping to feed people. And Victor Roberts sat with me in my office, as he has with many business people, many civic-minded persons in this country, to help to raise funds to assist the people in La Brea. When you have a member of parliament who should be doing that, but is not doing that, and Victor Roberts explained, I from Diego Martin, a next PNM nest, a next place that's neglected by a prime minister who is in charge of Diego Martin West, and a member of parliament who is the minister of finance in Diego Martin Northeast. And the people suffering there. And the people suffering there. And at first I asked myself the question that Victor said, how bad could it be in La Brea? But how bad could it be in La Brea? How bad it is in La Brea? Well, let me tell you something. I don't need to see how bad it is from you all tonight. You know, I saw the videos over the last 2 years. And when I saw the people kneeling on the ground in Lake Asphalt, begging for their salary, begging for their back pay, I said, shame on the PNM. What you say? Shame on the PNM. When I saw the young people, young men and women unemployed in this constituency, the same people that Victor Roberts is trying to assist today, who cannot get a job, I say shame on the PNM. Shame on the PNM. But let me tell you what's the most amount of shame. When the member of parliament, what is his name? We don't even know his name, McLeish. When this member of parliament, who is the minister of labor, could stand up on record and say that it is not his job to give you a job, I say shame not just on McLeish, but on the entire PNM. Because it's not only his job to give people jobs, but it is the job of the PNM, this government, to give people jobs in this country. Which they have failed. And when this man stands up in a cottage meeting in La Brea and says to the people of La Brea who put him into office, he says, well, there's not a lot going on in La Brea, is there? I say to him, shame. You have betrayed the people of La Brea. The PNM has betrayed the people of La Brea. Have they betrayed y'all? I think they betrayed you now. Tell me now, have they betrayed the people of La Brea? Well, I am coming to a close now, because just as they betrayed you all, just as they are visionless, just as they betrayed their own people in Diego Martin, where I come from, driving down here tonight, I saw the neglect in this constituency. I saw the potholes. I saw the infrastructure falling apart. And I see plenty of that pipeline that Victor Roberts exposed when they were trying to thief the pipeline. I saw it coming down. They are visionless. But we are going to make way for a speech tonight for a lady who had vision for this country when she was the prime minister, who did so much for every sector in this country. And she never discriminated on whether you were in a PNM constituency or a UNC constituency. She gave to all. She ran a party that was people-centered and based on a lie by this fella they call Keith Christopher Rowley. The country betrayed her and put her in the opposition. Based on a lie, that is what happened. Now, I'm not going to talk about the plans. I'm leaving that for my political leader to speak that. I'm not going to talk about what was done here and what is the vision when we re-elect Kamala Prasad Bisesa as the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. So, I say tonight, congratulations to my brother Victor Roberts on a historical moment in opening a United National Congress office in La Brea. And as I close, I say, we must never forget about the neglect. We must never forget what this PNM government has done. It is almost impossible to keep up with the amount of corruption, the amount of misbehavior in public office, and the amount of sufferation they have cast upon the citizens of this country. So I say to you tonight, when we have that opportunity to put our finger and riot with our finger, I say to you tonight, don't get God out of your thoughts. Make sure you make the right decision and put back in place I don't need a mic, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa into power. I thank you.
Yes. We say was he MP, some clashy. You know, I saw on Facebook a lady quarreling and it had no representation. You know what this office here represent? I saw a boss lady. It have plenty people from down here that be coming up in your boss, in your office or service. Right or wrong? Plenty. So, you see, all these services of the MP, forget this McClashy fella from now. All these services that you need of an MP will be available right here in this office. Right? With the assistance of your office boss, we have all the forms for all the grants, all the necessary things. And we have membership, and the party organizer will be making membership for those of you who wish to become members tonight. Next speaker, Mr. Young, come on up. This is a La Brea person, and I want all of you to get a sample. You talking about La Brea? Here from La Brea.
Pleasant good night to the UNC house. You know, it's a great privilege, you know, for I to come here and speak tonight because last 2015 I support Victor and the UNC with my heart. So when they asked me tonight, David, you want to say something? I say yes, I have to take the opportunity to say something. So without any further ado, I want to say special thanks to the opposition leader and future Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, for being here tonight, and by extension, all senators and MPs and all you people who come out here to support this great work here that is taking place in Palo Seco. I want to thank Almighty God, you know, because I'm from the Christian community, as a member of the Christian community, and I want to thank God for allowing this UNC office to open here in Palo Seco tonight, that you could come here and voice your complaint and say what affecting you and say what you want for the community of Palo Seco and by extension La Brea. Now I always ask myself as a member who living in the La Brea constituency, what it is the PNM do you that you feel that by voting for the UNC will cause things to get worse with you, because it's something that is unnatural that always causing you will complain. You complain that life not good and things not good. There's unemployment, there's crime getting out of hand each every day, and everything in chaos. But yet still, on election day, you go and you vote the PNM. I don't know if it's a sickness, if it's a disease, or what it is causing you to do that. But I always ask my Victor will tell you that. I don't know if it's obia or what. But here what I want to give you the assurance tonight. I want to say tonight, at this time, we the people of the constituency of La Brea change our mindset about the politics in Trinidad and Tobago. And according to all who speak already, you know, Dr. Kurt and all the other doctors, all the members who speak already, you know, it's since 1956, this thing started, and it getting worse. And I don't think we need to see more to know in our mind that it's time for change. And that change can only come about by you. That change to bring Trinidad, to make Trinidad and Tobago great again can only happen when you decide, look, there is no other way but on election day, let us go and vote the UNC into government. Because right now unemployment is to the highest. It's
500 and plus murders. And today's only 10th of the 11th month, 2022. So what we need to see again is chaos, right? I don't want to say what I already want to say because I feel like it will look good, you know. But everything in Trinidad and Tobago right now needs to be restructured. From Parliament right down to the Manny Street, everything needs to be restructured. And the people who you vote and put there, they don't have that vision. We want people with a different mindset, with a vision for this country to take this country forward again. And if you don't make that choice and do that, you could be assured yourself that you're on a road to hell. Victor Roberts, I mean to say you tried 2015, you tried 2020, you tried. And I always tell you, you make a very good attempt. You get some good support, but we need more support of you in this election. And I don't think we should wait until 2025 to call an election. I think election should be called right now. Because waiting on 2025 to call the next election, we might make it. Yeah. So I just pray that you, the people who in this PNM thing, that only get deliverance from the PNM, because it's only that could work. It don't know other way. It's that deliverance you need to know that the PNM has lost the way, they lost the vision, and it's time you put our political leader, the honorable opposition, Kamala Persad, back into office. Don't wait until 2025. I think now is the time, as the honorable Johnson say, they are in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's you to put them in, you to put the UNC in the right place, in the right time. I don't think I need to say more, but we need to get it right. By expansion, Trinidad and Tobago, we need to get it right. Forget about the little mistakes they might have made in the past. Every human being does make mistakes, but we just learn. You're supposed to learn. Anytime you learn from your mistakes, because I'm wrong, but we're supposed to learn from our mistakes. And I think our political leader and our team has learned and know that they'll come better now. And we need to give them that chance again in Trinidad and Tobago to make Trinidad and Tobago a better place for you and for me and for our children. Thank you.
Light fire! Pressure falling away! Gosh boy, I'm pumping. Alright, so we want to have a little bit of entertainment. I want to introduce to you a young lady who I taught everything she knows. Miss Nalini Ramna is going to do a rendition for us. Nalini, please put your hands together for Nalini Ramna.
A pleasant good night, Palo Seco! I want to say a special good night to my MP for Faizabad, Dr. Lakram Bodo, other MPs, councillors, my leader, Ms. Kamala Persad Bisasa, and no other Mr. Victor Roberts, the man on fire. So this song is an oldie goldie, right? So you all can clap and sing along. Kya hua tera wada wo kasam I want to see all the clapping, right? क्या हुआ तेरा वादा वो कसम वो इरादा भूलेगा दिल जिस दिन तुम्हें वो दिन जिंदगी का आखिरी दिन ही होगा क्या हुआ तेरा वादा वो कसम वो बाहों में बेटी हर शाम, बेवफा ये भी क्या याद नहीं क्या हुआ तेरा वादा, वो कसम वो इरादा, भूलेगा दिल जिस दिन तुम्हें, वो दिन जिंदगी का आखिरी दिन होगा, क्या हुआ तेरा वादा, कसम वो इरादा। ओ कहने वाले मुझको फरेबी, कौन फरेबी है ये बता, वो जिसने कम लिया प्यार की खातिर, ये जिसने प्यार को बेच दिया, नशा दौलत कभी याद नहीं क्या हुआ तेरा वादा, वो कसम वो इरादा, भूलेगा दिल जिस दिन तुम्हें, वो दिन जिंदगी का आखिरी दिन होगा, क्या हुआ तेरा वादा, वो कसम वो इरादा। Done. So this next one is an upbeat one, right? Hope you guys enjoy it. शाम सुंदर गगरी उठावे हमारे गले मूंगे के माला, शाम सुंदर गगरी उठावे हमारे गले मूंगे के माला, मूंगे के माला मूंगे के माला, मूंगे के माला मूंगे के माला, शाम सुंदर शाम सुंदर शाम सुंदर गगरी उठावे हमारे गले मूंगे के माला, शाम सुंदर गगरी उठावे हमारे गले मूंगे के माला। Let's shake a little bit, you know. बलमा उठावे महिला जो महिला, बलमा उठावे महिला जो महिला, बलमा उठावे महिला जो महिला, बलमाओ बलमाओ बलमा उठावे से वाला हमारे गले मूंगे के माला, बलमा उठावे से वाला हमारे गले मूंगे के माला, मूंगे के माला मूंगे के माला, मूंगे के माला मूंगे के माला, श्याम सुंदर श्याम सुंदर श्याम सुंदर गगरी उठावे हमारे गले मूंगे के माला, श्याम सुंदर गगरी उठावे हमारे गले मूंगे के माला। चेता उठावे महिला दो महिला चेता उठावे महिला दो महिला चेता उठावे महिला दो महिला देवताओ 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 उठावे से वाला हमारे गले मूंगे के माला देवता उठावे से वाला हमारे गले मूंगे के माला 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 श्याम सुंदर श्याम सुंदर श्याम सुंदर गगरी उठावे हमारे गले मूंगे के माला श्याम सुंदर गगरी उठावे हमारे गले मूंगे के माला Thank you.
Madam Political Leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, all MPs, senators, my colleagues in council, and all of you wonderful people of La Brea Constituency, and those who traveled to be here today, I say a special good night to all of you. I am here for a purpose, but before I do what I was asked to do, I wanted to give the political leader a little message. Political leader, just about 3 weeks ago, there was a major landslip in Sobo village in La Brea. That's a road that you did in 2011 under the partnership government. And the phone calls started coming to us. I called Javed and I called Derek. I said, what are we going to do? We have nothing in Safaria, nothing in the stockpile. And these people cannot pass. They are locked out, 250 persons. So I said, we call Victor. We call Victor. And I told him what happened. I said, we don't know what to do. So he said, okay, I'll come in. We met 1 o'clock. Myself, David, I think Derek was there. And we went down to see hundreds of people stranded in their homes. No water and no way of they coming out. Children had to stay home. So I told Victor, I say, I remember when I was the counselor, either myself or my husband, it had a shortcut to reach inside. Let us go and see where that shortcut is. So we went, we walked, and the villagers walked with us and went. And we looked at the area, we wanted material, we wanted excavator, backhoe to clean back the area. Victor said, do not be dismayed, we're going to get this road fixed. Today, just 1 week after, we have a road that is passable for 250 persons. In La Brea, where there is a PNM councillor and there is Mr. McClashy who has not visited these people up to this day. We made phone calls to WASA, we got the water locked off, we get it turned on back. Up to today, this morning, I went myself and I tried through that. And so, with the UNC and with Victor Roberts and the La Brea constituency, anything can happen. And I just want to let you know the humble person that Mr. Victor Roberts is. A morning I got a phone call and I'm seeing the guy who made the phone call, Mr. Ramesh Maharaj. He called and he said, Mrs. Ramadas Singh, there is a gentleman who wants to have a meeting with you. I said, sure, I'm available on a Saturday morning, let him come. Victor Roberts and Mr. Ramesh came to my office, which was in Rosalaka, and we spoke. When Victor came to me, he said, he called me boss lady, and he still do up to this day. Yeah. So he said, I come here to ask of you if you would allow me to serve the people of La Brea constituent, to get them out of the dismal place that they are in. I want nothing. I say, you sure you don't want anything? Because everybody come to join the UNC will come with a condition. I want a job for my son, for my daughter, or when we get into power, I want a position. Victor said, I want nothing. I just want to work for the people in La Brea. And I told him, it was about 2 weeks before we had a national congress. I say, you sure you don't want anything? He said, all I want is some jerseys, and I want some flags, and I will be there with 2 maxi full of people to support Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisasa this night. And so said, it was done. I got the jerseys, I got the flags, he came and he collected it, and that's his entry into politics, in UNC politics. Then, a couple of months after, we had a discussion, and I told him, I said, Victor, I have been the chairman of the La Brea constituency for over 20 years. I'm tired. I think we want somebody to work with me, because it is unfair for the people in the Rosala Otahiti area. We are being very unfair to the Palaseco people. And he said, Mrs. Ramadas Singh, I will come with you. I said, okay, I've been the chairman. I want you to offer yourself for that post as chairman, and I will support you wholeheartedly. He said, I will take the chairman, but you have to take vice chair. I said, no problem. So that is the kind of humble person that he is, and that is his desire to serve, and to serve the people of La Brea who under this kind of pressure. Just recently, we had a little discussion again. We sat down talking, and he showed me his hands. He said, you see these hands are hands of a farmer. I don't work for nobody. I plant. I don't think he even remembers saying this. He said, I planting and pumpkin. He said, and when I sell my plantain and my pumpkin, we sit home at a table, and we take out our investment, and we take out the profit. We take out what we have to use for household utilities, and 10% of my money that I earn, I put it away for hampers. And I want to ask a question. How many of us does that? How many people will say something like that? I don't think it will do that. 0% is true. Mr. Victor Roberts say he and his family, I think all members of his family are here tonight, 10% of his profit goes to put out for hampers. I have known Mr. Victor Roberts. He already said it about Victor. I just given you Mr. Victor Roberts and who he is. We couldn't have asked for better. I bring on to you our chairman of the La Brea constituency, Mr. Victor Roberts.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Honorable political leader, deputy political leader, members of parliament, senators, councillors, members of NATEX, and most of all, you, the beautiful, wonderful people of the constituency of La Brea. Tonight, first of all, I want to welcome the honorable political leader, to Palo Seco. And I will tell you why. I will tell you why. Under a number of discussions that I have had with you, the people of this constituency, you have said to me the way in which the standard of living, the way you were able to provide for your family, the way you were able to pay your bills and to educate your children, and you said that it all happens under the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa government. Today I want to ask you, the people of La Brea, I want to ask you, right down the road we have the NESC building, which was up and running under this boss lady. We have had the Palo Seco government primary school built under the UNC, and that tenure was Basil Pandey. We have had the construction of the Santa Flora government primary school, which was started by Mrs. Prasad Bisesa. And I want to tell you tonight, that you, some of you, are your own enemies in this constituency, because you have benefited. You were able to sustain your family. You were able to send your children to school. Today, up to yesterday, someone called and asked, Mr. Roberts, can you assist me with some books for my children? Under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, you had a book grant. Under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, you had laptops. Under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, you had baby grants. Under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, your life was molded and shaped in the way that any parent would want to shape their life. But you have thrown it away. You have allowed a deceptive, lying Prime Minister as Keith Christopher Rowley, who lied to you, the people of Palo Seco, when he said to you that I am not closing down Petrotrin. He said it in your face. And yet to the end of the day, in order to protect finances and to protect investors and to protect the man who was dancing bareback and tell Stuart Young and Rowley, I want to take all you in the mud and muddy all you. You, the people, have given up the opportunity that you have had under this lady to live in poverty. Today you are crying. Today the pains of agony is before you, and that is because you have allowed yourself to be deceived by a liar, by a man who lied on Emailgate, a man who lied on every given opportunity to bring your life into poverty. My question tonight is, what would you do? What would you do? Would you sit and wait? Would you sit and wait until you have to eat the wind? Because today, you as parents are eating grass. Your children eating the dirt that the grass came from. I want to ask you, what would your grandchildren eat? What would they eat? But all is not lost. You have the opportunity to stand up, to unite, to knit yourself together, put aside the Indian and African behavior, and decide to unify yourself in order to bring a better Trinidad and Tobago. That is what you have to do. Do not allow them to deceive you. When Rowley said to you that I am a proud black man, and you smile, you believe Rowley was talking about you? You believe Rowley was speaking for you? Rowley was speaking about himself. and those who continue to benefit out of your taxpayer dollar. That is what Rowley was speaking about. Rowley promised you a plywood factory in La Brea in 2015. He promised you a plywood factory. You know what he did? You know what he did? He gone with the ply and he leave you with the rest. That is what he did. He removed the ply and leave you with the rest. He came in 2020 and he promised you a dry dock. Well, today he gone with the dock and he leave you dry. Nothing for you in La Brea. Nothing for you in La Brea. This government have brought to you to your knees. Senator Lyda make mention of the lake asphalt workers who kneel and pray and beg God to deliver them out of the hands of the PNM. I want to tell lake asphalt workers tonight, that is not God who will help you to come out from that condition, because God said in his word that he helped those who help themselves. And therefore, if Lake Asphalt want to come out of that situation, then they have to help themselves and join us as we prepare for a 30,000 march in this country. 30,000 people must come out, as Young said, and demand that the government call fresh elections. If you want to survive in this country, ladies and gentlemen, you have the opportunity, you have the time. But Young said it, first in Palo Seco, we must change our mindset. We must remember Chuba Uriah Buzz Butler, who started and fought for you, the people in the Southland from Faizabad. Today I am saying to you, Palo Seco, some people in Faizabad, and all respect to Dr. Lakrambudu, but some of the fighters in Faizabad, they have lost their belly. They have given up for a few dollars more in the PNM. But I am asking you, Palo Seco, to start this walk in Palo Seco, and we must show Faizabad that what they surrender, we will never ever surrender, not because of us, but because of our children and our grandchildren. We must stand, and we must stand united in this junction on a morning when the doubles man reach. I have seen African people leading from the front, center, and still behind to get our doubles. During the Diwali celebration right here, we lit 1,000 diyas. And I have seen African people lighting the diyas right in this space that we are tonight. I have seen African men marry East Indian women right here in Palo Seco. I have seen East Indian women and men married in Taminga in this district of Palo Seco. But as election call, as election bell rang, pealing, they say, not me and them Indian. As election ring, I asked a man, as I wrap up, I asked a man a couple of weeks ago, he said, Roberts, how you could support them Indian? I said, I ask a question before we get into that topic. I am looking for a gynecologist. He said, a gynecologist? I said, yes. I didn't talk the truth. I said, my wife has some problem. He said, boy, the best gynecologist in this country is Dr. Ali. So I asked him, I said, Dr. Ali? I said, Dr. Ali, that is an Indian or African? He said, boy, Indian in Gulf City, boy. I said, but you just asked. No, before I tell him that, I said, how you know how good that man is? He said, boy, my sister Wendy At one time, my mother went there. I said, so let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. The thing, I don't know what I'm talking about, that men love to kill for. The thing that make all of you comfortable. You mean you're sending your sister, your mother, and your wife by the Indian to do that examination? You say it wasn't one thing, I lick you down. You see, that is how stupid we are. So we will send we wife and we mother and we father and we brother and everybody by the Indian doctor. But as the election bell rang, as you hear ping, 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 the bell ring, we say not me and them Indian. Well, let me tell you something as I wrap up. Trinidad and Tobago have seen the best time under that Indian political leader, Kamla Prasad Bisasa. The best time. And I want to tell you that if you want to see good times again, put back Kamla Prasad Bisasa as the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. God bless. I thank you.
Victor! 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 Victor!
The man say Indian, so the Douglas rich. Good evening. I come down to Palo Seco. Palo Seco mean dry stick. Palo Seco, for decades, all you bring fruit, milk, and honey to Trinidad and Tobago. Out of the oil and the ground of Palo Seco, all you feed the country, all you bring money to the treasury, and the PNM give all your dry wood, and all you still want to vote for that. No Palo Seco, no! But I'm happy today. And you know me, I had to come and talk to you. The mic, the Archie. I'm happy. I have a partner. I don't have many partners. I have a partner, an African brother I went to school with. He married 12 years to a beautiful Indian girl. But about 7 years ago, they separate. I know, I saw her because the woman I see, the woman take care of that man, cook for that man. When he reach home, she rub his foot. He come home, she ain't want no set of fashion, no set of dinner out. She take care of him, she mind his children. Anything he want, he get in the sweet woman. But just so he come and tell me 7 years ago he separate. I say, what you separate for? All the brethren them looking for a woman like your wife. He separate because his mother tell he when he gone to work that his wife ain't good, that she don't feed her, that she does beat she, that she don't bathe her, that she don't give her medicine, that she don't take care of her. And he take that information. He take all that information from the mother-in-law, from his mother. I don't need that mic. From the mother-in-law, he take basket and he put out the wife. He put out his sweet Indian and he bring in a good-looking African. And he leaves she there with the mother. And he gone to work. But the African bride, she know the mother is the one that tell the stories. So she make sure she can't talk. She make sure she sleep before the husband reach home. She can't tell she son nothing about the ill treatment she getting day in, day out. No food, no medicine, no bath. The woman treating she like a beast. And my partner don't know nothing. But he separate from a good Indian. Well, today he called me. Because 5 weeks ago, something tell him because of the crime situation, he put CCTV in his house. And while he in the office, he on the phone, and he watching his girlfriend abuse his mother. Treat she bad, F-E-G, BG, and he realized it's time for that woman to go and bring back the Indian, bring back the marriage, and now they're happy. My people of Palo Seco and La Brea, I need not say more. But what I will tell you is, I bring in to talk a Indian lady. Me I like she because she's a Indian. I like she because when she in charge and she control the treasury, she does give money to you, the people. Whether you is baby, you is primary school, secondary school, tertiary education, road, water, electricity, jobs, parliament, all across the board. This woman cares with her heart. They lied on this woman, but the people know now. Bring back Kamla, 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 Prasad, Bisatsa.
Thank you very much. Wow, you know, I call Anil when he was in the cabinet with me. We were together. We were the pension. Well, you had to vote UNC first. Vote UNC. Okay. Okay. Good night. All my colleagues, the team here. They said the mother reached, so everybody want. We will give everybody in this country, but you first have to put us back. So never fear. Never fear. Kamla is here. Never fear. Never fear. So, all these powerful speakers tonight, what a tremendous meeting. And you know, for a while we've been holding closed-door meetings at the headquarters, virtual. But I'm telling Dr. Bodas, this reminds me when I started to campaign way back in 1986. I came down here with the NAR. For the first time, your voter person was not a PNM. You voted an NAR candidate. You all remember that? You're young like me, you'll remember. Campaign down in Palo Seco here for La Brea. I think his name was Ryan. Do you remember his name? That's it, Ryan. I remember his name. And I'm thinking, really we need to go back out on the ground and hold small meetings throughout the length and breadth of the country. Because the energy we get from you, I'm sitting there and I'm amazed. I listen first to Christine. Give her a round of applause, please. Speaking from her heart. I listen to Mr. Young speaking from his heart. And when we do the virtuals, we miss that because we in front of the screen, in front of the cameras, and we don't get that energy feedback. So, team, what do you say? We'll hit the ground running. Starting from tonight in Palo Seco. As we praise our brother, Victor Roberts, give him a round of applause. And he has led the way. He asked me so many times, he said, leader, we want you to come to La Brea. And something always happened. We were doing budgets debates, we were doing other parliamentary matters. And eventually, I'm in the right time, yes, in the right place, here with you in Palo Seco. And therefore, I join his call. We must light a fire under the PNM. We must start that march into Port of Spain, and we will start from here in Palo Seco throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. And I ask you, will you take my hand? Will you take my hand and walk with me and walk with your team? Give me your hand. Let us join hands and let us walk together. We must vote and work and work and march until we get this wicked, corrupt, lying government out of power. We must not rest and we must not stop. So as we're here, after weeks and months of hard work from your team here, Victor, and your team, here we are to open this office in La Brea. To see a UNC flag flying in La Brea is a historic mark. It's a tremendous thing. I thank Victor and his team for making this happen. And so we talk about the neglect of, we are coming down the road and some people in the car with me, they say, but like no road is good in this country. So we're driving going north. On some days we have to go to Port of Spain. And no road. You're coming down this way, every part of the road is no road. The roadways are totally destroyed. Chandra spoke about Sober Village, what happened there, you know. Everywhere you go, the country is in a wreck, is in chaos. Everything has collapsed. But some things hurt more than other things. That velodrome that is close by, I was asking how far is it? That is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. During my time, I know we refurbished that. As a schoolgirl going to school in Irie High School, I attended also the Quarry Village Presbyterian School, not too far from here. And we would use that velodrome for school sports, for school events, for national events. Look at the state of that. So when Rowley lied and told you he was not closing Petrotrin, he didn't just put out the light, you know, when you pass going on the highway, point up here, you always saw, you know, in your home, you know, almost in the Southland when you see the flame. He put out that flame. We must never ever forget who put out that light at Petrotrin. We must never forget. And so short-sighted, so no vision for the country, that when you closed down Petrotrin, you did not realize what you were doing. You were closing down the livelihoods of thousands of people. So you are here in Palo Seco. When you closed down Santa Fe, what happened? No work, there's no work, absolutely no jobs for anybody. And then when you had the little shop and the little parlor and whatever you went through, all the businesses, no jobs anywhere. And they want to come to tell you, vote PNM. They will come back again. And you know the thing that broke my heart, I'll tell you. There was a young, bright girl here. Her name was, she was a minister of energy. You remember? Under Rowley Oliveri. So disrespectful and disgraceful. A bright young girl, and the young girl who spoke tonight, Mr. Roberts, give her a round of applause. Hear the youth, hear the voices of the youth. Rowley's in a press conference, and he turns and somebody says, we have a question for the Minister of Energy. Then it was Oliveri, Miss Oliveri. He said, we have a Minister of Energy. And she's sitting right next to him in the press conference. Do we have a what? Oh, okay. By the next day, he had moved out of the portfolio. Why? Up to today, we don't know why they moved out that young, bright engineer. I'll tell you people here in the constituency of La Brea, tell her the UNC will welcome her with open arms. Because we treasure our youth. We treasure our young people, those who will serve. And up to today, we don't know why they moved that poor girl. And others spoke. I think Victor told us about the reasons they had to protect their friends and their family and their financiers. And maybe Nicole didn't want to do those things. So what did he do? Moved her out and put others to do his bidding. Yes, my love. I get sued for talking about fake oil. So I have to go to court very soon about fake oil. But I have good court clothes, so don't panic for me. I have court clothes. So I am proud to join you to open this office today. Have all these speeches and things, but I want to make a point here. What do you want? What do you need? What do you need? I like JJ's example when she talked about Mr. Pandey, and it's not about race, it's about taste. So when you open the fridge and you go to the supermarket, what you're looking for is tasting to eat. When you go to the grocery, what you're looking for, food, to buy food, is taste. You're looking for things to eat. What do we need? In every human being, the first thing is to stay alive. Your first duty as a government is for security and safety of the people of your country. Because if you are dead, Nothing else means anything. And we have seen a murder rate spiraling out of control. The missing in action Prime Minister has nothing to say. JJ, you know, when you were talking about the Rosal School and watching those pictures and seeing these children under the desk, that man wouldn't even say a word up to today. And then I remembered, did you know I built the Rosal School? Did any of you know that? Remember that? And someone sent me a photograph recently where when we opened the school after I'd built it, it was an old rundown school, and I'd built that school and visited the school, pictures with the children smiling and so on. They want to close the school down. Many things we opened, Dr. Bodo told you, all the health centers, 112 health centers in the country, we refurbished every single one of them. Every one. And now, nothing. They have built nothing. They closed down everything. You mentioned the NESC center. Everywhere they've closed down these NESC centers, the white-tip centers, all the things to train people, to give them a skill. What you want, I say, you want to be alive, but what next do you want? You want to be able to feed yourselves and your families. You want to live as a human being with dignity, not like an animal, not begging on the ground or begging on the streets. How many young people you see on the streets today begging? Begging. Look at the roadways where you be junctions, where the intersections are, children on the streets begging. Is that what we want? Do we want that for our children or grandchildren? No way, we cannot. I don't think any adult, right-thinking person in our country today could say, yes, we are well off. We are doing well for our children. So first safety and security, and then you want a job. You want a good job. And I spent my time in government, and before when we were in government under Mr. Pandey, I said education. You all remember that? Education is a passport out of poverty. Education is a key to a better quality of life. So not everyone can go to UWI or go and do maths and English academic. I said, no, we have to train you skills. That's what the NESC centers were about throughout the country. We gave accreditation centers. They said, go in. If you're a plumber, you don't have a certificate, go into that center and they will assess you and give you a certificate. If you're a hairdresser, you can go into that center. You could do it well, but you don't have paper. But it well works with the certificates. We said we have these centers, you can go in, hairdresser, if you're a good cook, you're a carpenter, you're a plumber, all these skills. That's what I was about. It was about training people for the better day, for the next day and the day after. That's what I was about. That is what our government was about. That is what our team was about. I know Anil will break his heart as well when he sees that velodrome, because Anil was our great sports minister. You remember that, Anil Roberts? We built all these sports facilities in the country. What's happening with them, Anil? We built something called a tennis center. When they came in, they called it a racket center. Racket, there's only racket there, into rackets. We built the velodrome. What has become of that in Central? We built so many sports facilities. Anil Roberts, thanks to him, we will use those. I'll tell you. And I'm saying this for a reason. We built those. We built those together with the hospitals, the Point Hospital, the San Fernando, the Children's Hospital. Why did we do that? Yes, we want you to be healthy, but we were also wanting to create jobs. Jobs. That Couva Hospital, Dr. Boda, was about 2,000 jobs would have been created at that Couva Hospital alone. It took a pandemic for them to open it, and it's still not open for you and the public. I built that there in Central so everybody could access it with specialist care for children. Remember, we created the Children's Life Fund. So if we didn't have surgery here, we could send them abroad. But that hospital was a specialist children's hospital. So we didn't have to do cake sale and bake sale to send children abroad. They could have stayed right there in Trinidad. And on top of that, we did it for medical tourism. So creating jobs for our people here in Trinidad and Tobago, but also to bring in foreign exchange. Specialist hospital, San Fernando and Couva there, and Point 14. to bring medical tourism from the Caribbean. They would have come by the thousands to Trinidad and Tobago to access healthcare, but they would have had to pay. So we will make foreign exchange from the sports facilities, sports tourism, because you have to bring in money. Under this government, whilst we were there, we brought in millions and billions of dollars in what is known as foreign direct investment, FDI. Foreign direct investment. The latest of those is the Mitsubishi plant, which is not too far, somewhere around there, is it? That Mitsubishi plant is the last foreign direct investment coming into this country. And who brought it? It was a people's partnership. We brought that in. And now it's the opposite. Instead of bringing in FDI, it has gone into minus. The foreign exchanges, draining, minus, subtract, going back, gone. So you have no streams of revenue. They are thanking Putin for the war in Ukraine. They say prices of the oil gone up, but are you so dotish? If we still had Petrotrin, you could imagine the amount of money we would have been making now. You importing fuel to sell fuel. We would have been selling our oil at all these high prices. Again, no vision. They have absolutely no vision. And you know, the Holy Text tells us without a vision, a nation will surely perish. Surely perish, and that is exactly what is happening now under the PNM. Everything has dried up. Everything has collapsed. So you see, you talk done. Talk done. Now it's time for action. We must not just talk the talk. We must not talk the talk. We must walk the talk too. Walk the walk. Talk done. Time for action is upon us. So we're going into Christmas. Yes, enjoy your Christmas, eh? Enjoy it. Well, sorry, no ham and no macaroni pie. So sorry. No ham, no macaroni. I had to bake your bread in a cold pot now. Did you see someone put up on the social media, the cold pot man? He was filling up his bicycle in a gas station. One big fancy black car. But he wants you to ride bicycle, but he drive up in the gas station, fill in the tank, fill in his tank. Hypocrites, all of them. Hypocrites and liars, corrupt and thieves. So what are you going to do? We'll talk here to you. We'll laugh. We'll enjoy the evening. Thank you for welcoming me. I haven't been down this way for a while. Thank you for the welcome. Thank you for the welcome. And so we will meet again. My plans, without going into the detail tonight, my plans are first of all to make you feel safe and secure again in Trinidad and Tobago. That's a job one, priority of a government. Under my watch, we will say we have a track record, we did it before, and we can do it again. We brought the murders down to the lowest in decades. The second part of my job, when you put us back into government or a team, the second part of that, as I say, is for the creation of jobs. Creation of jobs. And I'm not talking about just 10 days or go and dig a road, dig a drain. I'm talking about sustainable jobs. We had started it. We got recognized by United Nations for our education program in Trinidad and Tobago. We were the first to carry out many of what they call the Millennium Development Goals, that we were one of the first countries in the world to have free secondary education for every child. Do you all remember that? You remember that? And we were moving into tertiary education. We had set a target of 60% to go into tertiary. Guess what? We passed our own target. We went up to 65%. We are going into the tertiary fields. We are going to the hands, the tech work, the training, the skills. That's the only way you'll get a job. And when we gave your children laptops, it was to prepare you for today's world, because in today's world, everything is a technology. Everything you were prepared. Was it Christine who told us about the laptop we gave her child? You know, she's about 20 years ago. You know, some of those children who got those laptops, you know, they still have them. They still have them. There's a young man we met, he said, I'm attending university, and here, this laptop, you gave it to me, Miss Kamla. You gave me this laptop. So we must get back there, we must prepare our children for the technological world, to place education at their fingertips, you can stay home. Big debate going on right now. The Prime Minister, this poor fella, I pray for him. He's got COVID again. COVID again. So there's a big debate going on right now whether he will come to Parliament tomorrow or not. Because tomorrow is something called PMQs, Prime Minister's Questions. So he has to stand up, we will ask questions. Many times he ducks on that day. So I saw a notice from our Chief Whip David Lee while I was driving that Dr. Rowley has agreed that he will do the PMQs from home by virtual. Look, even the man is not realizing the importance of virtual and digital technology. So you cannot escape. Tomorrow, we have the questions ready for you. Virtual or in whichever way you're doing it, we will be ready with our questions. But that's where the world has gone. And a few months ago, when he had talked before the election, he said people could work from home. Anybody remembers? Work from home. A few weeks ago, when they asked him, he said, don't feel truly prepared to work from home. Well, he'll be working from home tomorrow, using the virtual to communicate to the Parliament. Yes, well, lies again, as they say. So to all of you good people here, I thank you very much for your company. Please make sure, get home safe, God bless you, and we shall meet again. God bless. I thank you.
Thank you very much, political leader. We just ask you to join us at the entrance for the cut and play ribbon, please. Chairman Victor, could I ask to the doorway there, could you please just give us a bit of room, please? Thank you so much. So we'll have the official cutting of the ribbon to officially open the La Brea, the UNC La Brea Constituency office.
A shame, someone or something in this land has to be blamed. Politics for one and politicians for the other. Make sure the good of this land don't stay together. How could some place so good turn out so bad? Where is the love in this land that we once had? Somebody thief in the soul of my nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thief in the soul of my nation. Somebody driving this country mad. And we, yes you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you we, yes you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of my nation.
Archie, bring the video camera, please.
Drug addiction and prostitution, teenage pregnancy have taken over my land. Much too much political corruption. Talk about race only cause more confusion. Who would ever try to put all these wrongs right? Too much frustration without no end in sight. Leader after leader put the nation under pressure, and ordinary people just have to run for cover, Lord. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thief in the soul of
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The official opening of the La Brea UNC Constituency office. La Brea, we are here.
Work ethics keep on going down the drain. Young people today say they ain't working again. They tell you blatantly they ain't working no more. They tired work and can't see what Everything wrong in this land today looks alright. Defended by those we know should know better. Raping women in the land is a disaster, yet the punishment recommended drive them to anger. What in the world are we really coming to? Where do we go from here? What are we going to do? The laws in the place is nothing but a waste, cannot be implemented. What a judicial disgrace. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the morals of this land. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody causing much too much frustration. Yes, you and me, we have.
All right, so we don't want to leave yet. We still have some entertainment for you all to enjoy. We're going to serve some light refreshments. So don't leave yet. We're going to give on a little bit here. We can't just leave La Brea just so. I see our man dressed up nice and I know he can well sing. So you're going to pump something for me just now.
In Mearo, he said it wasn't easy to survive. The name of the song, Born to Survive. A good selection.
Trinidad Rio.
Merry New Year, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is straight, die-hard, genuine, authentic Kaiso. And this is how the story goes. I went to public utilities and tell them disconnect them facilities, cause me want them. I tried to contact the ombudsman, but never in office. I'm going to file me an injunction on the public service, cause every time a heavy rain fall, by me don't have no current at all. They spoil me TV, they spoil me fridge, they nearly kill me with low voltage.
Testing, one. So I'm asking the executive to go into the office to have a photo with the boss immediately. I'm calling on all members of the executive to enter into the office immediately. So while the executive goes into the office, we have some entertainment and we have some refreshment and a little bit of food. So don't go because you will be left out. Alright? So at this time, I am bringing Spanish Laundry to the stage. Spanish Laundry!
Check. Yeah. Make some noise! Make some noise! Let me hear you! Right now I'm standing by. What kind of pie you want, girl? What kind of pie you want? Booty pie, shot and pie, dashing pie, head roof pie. Right now I'm standing by.